Deep sea diving. It's terrifying to many, to others, bliss. In the vast expanse of the cosmos where stars shimmer and celestial bodies beckon to be explored, mankind has long gazed at its wonders. But as the world's sight was set adrift into the heavens, another frontier lay in wait, a mystery more enticing. A realm as deep and uncharted as space. Here, in the depths of our own planet, lies a parallel universe beneath the waves, where few dare to venture. Like intrepid astronauts of the abyss, they jump into their capsules and embrace the eerie darkness, poised to explore a realm that remains as mysterious and captivating as the stars themselves. Few in history have dared to go beyond the deepest, darkest places in the universe. And no, I'm not talking about space. I'm talking about the ocean. And who in their right minds would want to go to the bottom of an infinite unknown dark void, teeming with an even more unknown amount of life lurking around the depths? The deepest recorded spot on Earth is known as the Challenger Deep, located in the Mariana Trench in the western Pacific Ocean. Mariana Trench is the deepest part of the world's oceans, formed by the collision of two tectonic plates. The depth has been measured at approximately 36,000 feet. For perspective, that's roughly 7 miles. This incredible depth makes the Challenger Deep the lowest point on Earth. Challenger Deep was first measured in 1960 during the Bathyscaphe-Trieste mission, led by a Swiss scientist, Jacques Piccard, and a US Navy lieutenant, Don Walsh. Since then, there have been many manned dives to the Challenger Deep, including by James Cameron in 2012. Who is James Cameron? He's a filmmaker and entrepreneur, known for his works in movies like The Terminator, Aliens, The Abyss, and Titanic. But he is also an explorer. 2 hours and 36 minutes. That's how long it took to descend in the submersible known as Trieste. In 2012, a record was set for the deepest travel into the Earth ever recorded. In 2014, that record was broken by an unmanned craft called Nereus, built by the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. Sadly, this mission would fail. Contact was lost, and hours later it was discovered in pieces at the ocean floor. Cause? Implosion. The extreme pressures had forced the craft to collapse on itself. Meet Victor Vescovo. His goal? To dive the deepest spot of every ocean, and he succeeded. He did that using the Deep Submergence Vehicle, or DSV, which is designed to withstand extreme pressures. It successfully completed the dives to the Challenger Deep, the Puerto Rico Trench, the South Sandwich Trench, the Java Trench, and the Malloy Deep, setting depth records at each location. You bet your bottom dollar that if there is even the tiniest bit of a sense of competition, Russia would be there. The Russian Mir submersibles, developed in the 80s by the Soviet Union, carried out the manned dives in submersibles up to 20,000 feet, setting records as early as 1987. One of the most famous expeditions involving the Mir submersibles was the exploration of the RMS Titanic. This dive took place in 1991, at that time 79 years after the tragic sinking of the ship. The most interesting part about this is that it was organized by the RMS Titanic Incorporated in collaboration with Russian research institutions and exploration teams. Mir 1 and Mir 2 were deployed from a support vessel floating way up above the Titanic wreckage. The Mir 1 passengers were Anatoly Saglovich, Russian pilot, and Yevgeny Chernayev, a Russian scientist. And aboard Mir 2 was Dr. Anatoly Mikhailov, an experienced Russian submersible pilot who had been on dives before, and Roger Chapman, a British filmmaker and explorer. The information obtained on this dive would highlight in great detail what exactly happened on that moonless night. The teams identified areas of significant impact damage, including the point of the collision with the iceberg and structural damage caused during the sinking. They were able to locate scattered debris, document the vast marine life that had established its new home on the Titanic, and the extensive deterioration over the past 79 years. Fast forward to today, OceanGate, Stockton Rush, entrepreneur, co-founder, and CEO of OceanGate. The company has set its stake in the grounds of history, diving the Titanic wreckage with their Titan submersible that never returned. Sadly, those on board did not survive. But how did it happen? It's quite simple, really. The deeper you go in water, the more the pressure rises. Water is more dense than air, so atoms are more closely packed as you go deeper. As you descend, the sheer mass of the water above the surface compounds and effectively presses down on you, compacting anything below it. Every 33 feet of depth in the ocean is an increase by about 1 atmosphere, or 14.7 psi. As you go deeper, pressure increases for 14.7 pounds per square inch for every 33 feet. At a depth of 12,500 feet below the sea level, about where the Titanic lies, the pressure would be about 5,417 pounds per square inch. At Mariana's Trench, the pressure is roughly 3 times that, at 15,750. Your body is essentially just a bag of meat, bones, and blood. The average male is about 5'9", 200 pounds. That's roughly 21 square feet or 3,024 inches. So if you're 12,500 feet below, in the 5,417 psi waters, that's about 16,251,000 pounds of pressure exerted over your entire body. Pain receptors in your brain vary in the timing from the signal being received and sent back to the location on your body to feel the pain. Roughly 60 to 270 milliseconds depending on the type of pain and the stimuli. The implosion and collapse from the immense pressures at these depths would be nearly instantaneous, so fast that the pain signals likely never even made it to the brain for processing. So that's a good thing for anyone unfortunate enough to be caught in such a predicament. As a matter of fact, it takes about 13 milliseconds for the brain to process information sent from the eyes, roughly 12 times longer than the implosion took, about a nanosecond. Think about it. That's over 16 million pounds being released on you in an instant. Now, a little more graphic. Think about this. If you were inside the Titan when it imploded, you'd essentially be inside of a pressure cooker. Pressure creates heat. That's how those cookers work. And when you place a bag of meat inside of a container and the pressures turn on all of a sudden at once, those bags of meat would suddenly vaporize or melt. There would be no remains. But hold on a second. Here's another fun fact that goes even deeper. Ever heard of free diving? No, it's not a free swim lesson. Freediving is a form of diving in which individuals rely on their breath-holding abilities to explore underwater. It requires extensive training and developing breath-holding techniques to withstand the pressure alone. The deepest dive ever made by a person without the use of a submersible is the free diving world record holder Herbert Nietzsche. On June 6, 2012, Herbert Nietzsche descended to a depth of 831.7 feet. This incredible accomplishment was achieved in the waters of the Greek island of Santorini. He is now known as the deepest man on Earth. Now, let's go even deeper. The Kola Super Deep Borehole Project, an operation run by the Soviet Union. They began drilling in 1970 and apparently forgot to turn off the drill because it kept going for about 20 years. They dug a hole all the way down to 7.5 miles below the surface, the deepest man-made hole in history. The operation shut down in 1992 because of money problems associated with the challenges of digging even deeper. So you might think they'd slap a cap on the hole and call it a day. Well, they did. In 2008, 16 years later. So there you have it. And guess what? I write documentaries too. Check out these stories because I put a lot of time in them and they are awesome. Sincerely, thanks for watching.